Now at 9, Pittsburgh police arrest a man accused of murdering his wife. Plus,
who will control the Senate? It's still a toss-up with just 4 weeks to go before the midterms. I'm Miaa Rivera in Washington with details on some key races that could determine the balance of power coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. A Pittsburgh man is charged with the murder of his wife. Authorities were responding to a wellness check shortly after noon yesterday for a woman in a home on the 1300 block of Cedar Crest Drive. Now, officers had to forcefully enter the house where they found the body of 54-year-old Michelle Fontenot. The investigation quickly led to the victim's husband, a 60-year-old Timothy Fontenot, as the primary suspect. Officers later stopped Fontenot's vehicle as he tried to return to the scene. Police say when officers tried to forcibly remove him from his vehicle, he drove into several officers. Police managed to arrest him on charges of second-degree murder, aggravated assault of a law enforcement officer, and felony interference with law enforcement. Authorities have arrested 4 people in connection with the suspected attempted murder and robbery in Fort Scott, Kansas. Fort Scott police released information yesterday, but the actual crime happened on September 24th. Authorities responded to the 400 block of Andrick in Fort Scott. They found 39-year-old Kenneth Bevins lying in the grass with multiple injuries. As of yesterday, police have arrested 4 people in connection to the crime. 2 are juveniles and 2 are adults. Formal charges have been filed against 2 of the adults, 20-year-old Tevin Eisenbrot and 23-year-old Michael Sheriff. Court documents allege Eisenbrand robbed Bevins, taking his knife, stabbing him with it. They also allege Michael Sheriff stomped on Bevins' head. As of last report, Bevins remained in critical condition. Meteorologist Doug Heddy joining us now. Firstly, the forecast. Cooler today, but I'm still loving it, man.
Yeah, and we got some rain. It wasn't heavy, but we got some scattered showers into the region, which was nice. Now, once we got some sunshine during the evening hours, we did pop up to 76 degrees, normal high 73 degrees. Now look at our rain stats, only 12/100ths of an inch. We'll take it, but only 12/100ths of an inch. We're still over 2.5 inches behind for the year so far. All right, all those showers, all those clouds out of here. So we have clear skies now. Not too much is going on, but we are tracking some thunderstorms out across central Nebraska, kind of building in the northwestern parts of Kansas. And these are going to head toward us late tonight into tomorrow morning. So we should start the day, at least half of us, on the wet side. 68 will drop to 66, 69 by noon. High temperature of 75. Of course, we'll talk more about thunderstorms here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thanks as always. The annual economic conference was held at Pittsburgh State University. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to local economists about the outlook of Pittsburgh.
Economists and business officials gather at Pittsburgh State University to discuss the economic outlook. Officials say that there is potential for growth in Kansas.
So I think Kansas will do better, even on the energy side as well, another one. We'll do better relative to the U.S. in this context. So a 0% growth net, which will decline the first half but come back. But we have driving sectors that will allow us to do better here.
Local businesses is one of the reasons why Pittsburgh economy is strong.
Local businesses, then we're going to be doing okay even if we have a recession, but we just won't grow a whole lot.
The city of Pittsburgh is still growing and has a bright outlook for this coming year due to the local businesses and the population growth.
Lack of labor force, the labor force is not coming back, just like nationwide. It's not coming back like it should, and there are like 700-800 jobs open in the Pittsburgh area that are unfilled. So of course that is an impediment of job growth, but hopefully the labor force is going to come back, and having new population growth, might solve that.
The new population growth will increase the labor force, construct more residents, and improve wages.
It's very optimistic, and especially now with more housing coming online here in Pittsburgh. Literally within the next couple of weeks, we're adding residents, which adds even more growth to the community, and combined with that wage growth, we really feel like this growth will continue locally for some time.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Economic conference is held every year to assess the economic state of the city, state, and country. Pittsburgh Fire Department's fire chief announced his retirement today. Dennis Riley became the Pittsburgh fire chief back in September of 2020. Dedicated more than 40 years to the fire service. He says he's going to use his retirement to focus on family, traveling, and his training and consulting business. The The city has appointed Battalion Chief Taylor Cern as the interim fire chief. Congratulations, sir. Destroying things can sometimes be fun, right? So the city of Miami hosted a ribbon cutting for the demolition of a Miami Ford building. The building is going to be replaced by a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram store.
Well, all you have to do to understand why we want to be at this location is drive down Main Street in Miami and see all the improvements and changes that have made. We want to be part of it. We've got a little piece of it now, and we want a bigger piece of the progress that Miami's made.
Officials expect the building to be finished in about a year. It's crunch time for control of the Senate. Every race could tilt the balance of power, and that includes Ohio and Georgia. Fox's Madeline Rivera reporting tonight from D.C.
GOP Senators Tom Cotton and Rick Scott hitting the campaign trail with embattled Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker. Walker is battling allegations that he paid for a woman to have an abortion in 2009. The New York Times reports Walker urged the woman to have a second abortion 2 years later, but she refused.
He's also 100% against abortion access, even in the cases of rape or incest. So it creates a lot of other dynamics in this race, from hypocrisy to dishonesty.
They'll do whatever it takes, say whatever they have to say, because they want this seat right here.
The two senators trying to shore up support for the former football star show how high the stakes are.
Herschel Walker is going to help build a Republican majority in the United States Senate.
J.D. Vance, you get the first question.
The urgency of the moment also on full display in Ohio, where Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan and Republican author and investor J.D. Vance faced off in a contentious debate Monday night. But some say the race shouldn't be close.
Ohio is not a battleground state. It is a royal ruby red state.
The economy and inflation are still the top concerns for voters. However, Democrats are hoping the abortion issue gives them a boost, but others are skeptical.
This is not just a one-issue race on either side of the aisle. If you live in a border state, immigration is going to matter more.
Walker and incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock are expected to debate in Georgia on Friday. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
U.S. Supreme Court hearing arguments today on a California law that bans the sale of pork products that come from animals housed in tight enclosures. Pork producers say the measure violates the Constitution, and it would have a big impact on prices for consumers. Fox News correspondent Molly Hannenberg has a closer look from Washington.
At issue for the justices, whether California's Proposition 12, passed by voters in 2018 but not yet implemented, would unconstitutionally disrupt the interstate sale of bacon, pork chops, and other pork products. Two pork industry groups say yes, because most of the pork eaten in California comes from pigs raised outside of the state.
It tramples the rights of the states in which the business is located.
Because those states may not have the same pig welfare laws as California. Justice Sonia Sotomayor suggests those pork producers can take their products elsewhere.
No one's forcing them to sell to California. They can sell to any other state that they prefer to sell to.
But the pork industry argues that the meat is often combined before a sale, and it would cost hundreds of millions of dollars to get all pork up to Proposition 12 standards. Those in favor of the California law say states have to be able to regulate products coming into their borders.
California voters chose to pay higher prices to serve their local interest in refusing to provide a market to products they viewed as morally objectionable and potentially unsafe.
But some justices asked questions about just how far this could go.
Could it extend to a state that has, for example, different political views on certain issues that are important to your voters?
The Biden administration argued today in favor of the pork producers. A decision is expected in coming months. At the Supreme Court, Molly Henneberg, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Meredith Chapman served in the U.S. Army from 1955 to 75. Native of Lamar, Missouri, Chapman was stationed over in Germany, Korea, Japan, earning numerous awards. We are proud to thank and salute Meredith Chapman. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Hady's next with a complete look at the forecast and later. Missouri Southern women are #1 in the MIAA preseason poll for the first time in program history. We're going to have those details plus a lot more in sports.
Well, of course, we had some showers around the region through the morning into the afternoon hours. Got a little bit of sunshine during the afternoon. Clear skies for us right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just to the west of Seneca, Missouri. Clear skies sticking around for the next few hours, and then we'll start to see some changes. All right, at least we got some rain in here. It wasn't much, but we got something in the region earlier for us today. We had just kind of bands of light showers, mainly through the afternoon along the I-44 corridor. The clouds broke up. Now we have clear skies, but we do have another storm system which is going to head toward us. We're pretty quiet out there right now with mostly clear skies. Rainfall amounts, here's the heaviest. If you look at the guide, it's very hard to see, but over a quarter of an inch. So a quarter, 3/4 of an inch. Everybody else in the lighter color, under a quarter of an inch, 1/2 of an inch of rain. Really not much at all once you get down through Benton County, also Berry County and McDonald County. So we could use a little bit more rain. We're tracking some thunderstorms, southern parts of Nebraska. You can see this line down into northwestern Kansas. That's our next cold front. So this is heading in. It's a long ways away, but we'll get a line of showers and thunderstorms in here by the time the morning hours start. So let's go through time. And again, most of these are going to be north of I-44 again as we go through the overnight hours. Here's 2:30 in the morning, clouds starting to increase, windy, upper 60s. As we go into the morning, look at this batch showers, thunderstorms. So here's 4:30 in the morning, Fredonia, Yates Center, Iola, Chanute. Working off toward the south into the east, southwestern Missouri, probably clipping the metro, not building too much into northeastern Oklahoma. Then most of these are going to be out of here by the time 8, 9 o'clock roll around. We'll have a few light little showers, and then the clouds will start to break by about 10 or 11 o'clock. Then we get to sunshine once again tomorrow afternoon. 73 in Nevada, Neosho, 77 in Miami, maybe a little bit high, 75 in Chanute. So a little wet start, sunshine during the afternoon. As we go into tomorrow night, we cool back down. We're going to go down into the low to mid 40s, so it's going to be kind of chilly by the time we start Thursday. And then Thursday afternoon looks great. We get sunshine returning, high temps right around 70 degrees by Thursday afternoon. All right, rainfall, not a lot, mainly north of I-44, kind of clipping into Pittsburgh and Joplin, but the heavier amounts, Lamar, Nevada, Fort Scott, maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more. 66 to start, 69 by noon, 75 by 5. We'll go with a high temp of 75 degrees, but it's going to be windy. Look at these wind gusts tonight into tomorrow morning. The winds will diminish, and then the front rolls through, and it stays kind of breezy across the region as we head into tomorrow. 75 morning showers, morning thunderstorms again, mainly north of I-44. 48 tomorrow night, 72 on Thursday. Friday looks great, 78. Maybe a random shower Saturday, but really rain chances kind of go down after tomorrow.
Even today, some of those wind gusts were packing a punch.
It's getting a little breezy.
See you in a little bit. Yep. Okay, thank you as always. Coming up, Russian attacks off the battlefield.
A group of pro-Russian hackers says it's behind several cyber attacks on U.S. websites. I'm Eric Shawn in New York, and I'll have the details coming up.
On Thursday, the Social Security Administration is expected to announce its 2023 cost of living adjustment, so-called COLA, affects 66 million Americans who receive benefit checks from the agency with its aim to keep seniors from losing purchasing power from inflation. The Senior Citizens League advocacy group says seniors are likely going to receive an increase of 8.7%, and that would be an average monthly increase of just over $144, making it the largest such hike since 1981. Several U.S. airports had their websites hacked this week, and now a group of pro-Russian hackers is claiming responsibility. Fox News correspondent Eric Shawn has more.
A pro-Russian hacking group says it knocked several U.S. websites offline this week. On Tuesday, that group, KillNet, said it hacked the entire network infrastructure of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. While there has been no evidence the claim is true, officials say they are aware and monitoring the situation. KillNet also says it attacked the websites of more than a dozen U.S. airports on Monday, among them Chicago O'Hare, Los Angeles International Airport, and Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. But airport officials say no flight operations were affected. KillNet has ramped up hacking in countries that oppose Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While the group supports the Kremlin, the Biden administration says its direct ties to Moscow are unknown.
We just don't really understand fully who's behind this, what the motivation was, certainly at what level, if any, Kremlin officials were aware. We just don't know. We're going to investigate this. We're going to try to get to the bottom of it.
Former U.S. Defense Intelligence Officer Rebecca Koffler says cyber warfare is part of Russian President Vladimir Putin's playbook. And it could increase, she says, in the months ahead as Moscow suffers more setbacks on the battlefield.
He's going to target exactly what he's targeting right now, the civilian infrastructure, with cyber attacks, space warfare operations, underwater strikes.
Last week, Killnet claimed responsibility for denial of service attacks on government websites in several states. In New York, Eric Shawn, Fox News.
Still ahead, an emotional toll on survivors.
The cleanup from Hurricane Ian ramps up in some of the hardest hit areas. I'm Fox Weather's Will Nunley in Fort Myers. I'll have the story coming up.
The third largest U.S. railroad union has rejected a deal with employers. That once again raises the possibility of a strike that could hobble the transport of goods and affect the economy. Before any walkout, both sides are first expected to return to the bargaining table. While the union agrees to keep working for now, the group that represents the railroads is in negotiations said it was disappointed the union rejected the agreement. Cleanup efforts beginning to ramp up in the hardest hit areas of southwest Florida. Local officials say looting remains a problem as recovery efforts continue. Fox Weather's Will Nunley has more.
Nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Ian, major search and rescue efforts in the region have been completed. Crews that flew into southwest Florida are now returning home. Some say they conducted thousands of searches during their time here.
We're coming back to, places that are intact on our homes and stuff, and they're going to be, months, if not years, dealing with the effects of what they saw and are experiencing.
For many of those people they helped, the emotional toll will grow in the weeks ahead. Residents in the hardest hit areas are returning to see what remains of their homes and recovering whatever belongings they can.
I lost my home, lost my job, nowhere to stay. I'm living in a tent.
In Tampa, dozens of cleanup crews are working 12-hour shifts to remove storm debris. City officials say it could take up to 2 months to complete the process.
We're asking residents the really small stuff, leaves, twigs, things that can't be picked up by hand or with a grapple truck, to go ahead and bag that material or put it in a container.
As recovery efforts continue, concerns are growing about crime and looting in the region. In Naples, at least 2 people were arrested on Sunday for a looting crime spree. Lee County says it's arrested more than a dozen since the storm. Local officials issuing this warning.
People have the right to be safe and secure in their homes. Those that want to pray, go somewhere else. Leave our state. We don't even want you here.
Some of the recovery efforts could be hampered this week as forecasters predict rain moving into the area. In Fort Myers, Will Nunley, Fox Weather.
Kind of looks like something out of the Charlie Brown story. Gonna hear more about this, the biggest pumpkin ever grown and recorded here in the U.S. So we just put our pumpkin on the porch, it's a decorative thing, but goodness, try putting this on your porch for trick-or-treaters. You got to rent a crane, all that stuff. Check out this entry to the 49th World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off near San Francisco. Travis Geiger holds the massive, look at that, massive pumpkin on a cross-country trip from Minnesota to see how it measured up, and it definitely left an impression. Weighing in a whopping 2,560 pounds. That makes it the largest pumpkin ever grown here in the U.S., recorded, of course, because we don't know for sure, but recorded, breaking the previous record by just 6 pounds. The world record was set just last year by a man in Italy who grew a pumpkin weighing over 2,700 pounds. Now, we did some quick research, Doug Hetty and I. Keep in mind, look at that pumpkin, okay? It takes a lot of water to grow, even though Minnesota has some sort of drought. Probably not as bad as here, but Minnesota had some sort of drought going on, so that's an accomplishment. My goodness. All right, 30 more minutes news, weather, sports coming away. Miami Police Department drone team giving a demonstration to local students.
For decades, residents of Ottawa County, Oklahoma have dealt with flooding water that's been contaminated from Tar Creek Superfund site. We'll have more on this in just a little bit.
More than 120 years of active mining and contamination, really, within Tar Creek Superfund site have led to a public health crisis among the area's 31,200 residents. KOAM's Carrie Worthen is in Miami with more on this story.
A flood is always dangerous water. It always is, because it mixes with everything that it may have come in contact with.
Rebecca Jim is an executive director of the local environmental action demanded agency. Her goal is to clean up Tar Creek so it is safe for residents of Ottawa County.
There is a lot right in the floodplain that needs to be addressed, and we hope that they'll do it very quickly.
One of the largest Superfund sites is just miles north from Miaa, Oklahoma. Rebecca says it's around 40 square miles.
It was the site of one of the largest lead and zinc mines in the world. And when it was abandoned, the mine waste was left piled on the ground from here to yonder. The site is as big as the city of Tulsa.
The MAP project began in 2020 when a member of Cherokee Nation partnered with Thriving Earth Exchange to create a tool that could visually showcase what happens with Tar Creek floods.
And what our map maker did was, she did the whole county. So now all of us can see how flooding affects all of us.
With the 24th Annual National Environmental Tar Creek Conference, Rebecca says it's the most important one, and she hopes that citizens of Ottawa County will attend.
What are they doing? What's a cleanup look like? What is cleanup? What's restitution? How do you resolve a problem that's this polluted? Who takes it on? Who are these people? And we get them an opportunity to meet us.
In Miami, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
24th Annual National Environmental Tar Creek Conference is tomorrow and Thursday in Miami at NEO College. Thursday, October 20th is going to now be known as Project Warmth Day in Pittsburgh. Mayor Cheryl Brooks recognized the event with its own day. Project Warmth started as a way to help people with utilities in Crawford County as temperatures start to drop, get colder outside. Funds are distributed through Catholic charities and the Salvation Army. And volunteers are always welcomed.
So it is very busy, but it is very joyful to see everybody come in and to make sure that it's gone smoothly and that we're doing the best that we can to serve our community.
Project Warmth has been serving the community for more than 30 years now. The event is going to be in person this year, unlike previous years because of the pandemic. Yeah, siren there. Kindergartners at Mark Twain Elementary in Carthage, Missouri spent the day celebrating community helpers. Community helpers can be anyone who goes above and beyond to help their community, like police, firefighters, and paramedics. Jasper County Sheriff's Office, as we see right there, stopped by the school to talk about how they help the community.
Some of the students that are excited about maybe being police officers in the future, they can see that's something that is tangible and something they can actually achieve.
I liked the spotlight when it flashed a little.
It's a big microphone, huh? Good job, though. Thanks for talking to us, little buddy. It's a week-long celebration, and the Carthage Fire Department will visit Thursday at 2 p.m. to also discuss how they help the community. All right, the Miami Police Department was at Wyandotte High School today, and if you're a parent, hear me out, okay? They weren't investigating any crime or delivering an anti-drug lesson for that matter. KOAM Suguma Deli was there as students learned about how new technology is helping local investigators.
For the Miami Police Department, drones are served as an efficient tool in apprehending criminals.
We use them for all sorts of city functions, not just police, emergency management, fire department, code enforcement. If we roll up to a scene and we're like a missing person, we can search 5-10 acres in a matter of minutes, where it would take 5 or 6 officers an hour to do that.
Chief Anderson and the Miami drone team taught aviation students at Wyandotte High School about different types of drones, drone programs, and their uses.
I love the technology. I play games at home, so I've always been interested. My dad hunts a lot, so he uses drones at home, and I've flown some of them. He has some good drones. I've always been really interested in drones.
I like how they track things down and are able to use that technology in being able to solve crimes.
Chief Anderson tells me the drone program is more important than just his field uses.
This technology is emerging. It's an up-and-coming field, and for young aviation students, it's a great demonstration to see what it can do right now. And by the time they're graduated in the field, the capabilities will just be tenfold again. It is ever-evolving field, and just to show them what the capabilities are now and what they can get into, I think it's important to them to see what these can be used for.
In Wyandotte, Shagumamdele, KOAM News.
Chief Anderson says the Miami PD drone team is the only law enforcement agency drone team in operation in Northeast Oklahoma. A bit later. Look back on the life of an entertainment icon from Broadway to the teapot.
Well, of course, we had some showers out there through the morning into the afternoon hours. Clouds broke, sunshine during the evening hours. Still pretty much clear skies for us right now. That's going to change as we go through the overnight hours. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just west of Seneca, Missouri. Looks pretty good. Look at the rain rolling through earlier. This is something we haven't seen much of, dating all the way back to about the early of June. Didn't get a lot, but at least we had something outside. Now all the clouds are gone, clear skies, and that's what we're going to see for the next several hours. And then we'll see our next band of showers trying to work in. Rainfall amount's not that heavy. The lighter colors, we're talking under 1/4 of an inch. Southern counties, spotty. Where you pick up the green, this is showing, I'm colorblind, so I have to use shades. Where you pick up the green, that is showing 1/4 of an inch, maybe upwards to about 1/4 of, or 1/2 of an inch. We are tracking some thunderstorms out across south central Nebraska, and then here's the front, that little line. So they'll form a little bit more farther south and kind of dive south and east as we go through the overnight hours. So at least the northern half of the region will have chances for showers and thunderstorms back in here. So here's that line, top of your screen. Here's 2:30 in the morning, we're quiet. It's going to be windy, but we're quiet. Let's go forward to about 4:30 in the morning. Northern counties start to pick up some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Yates Center, Iola, Fredonia, Chanute. As we continue into the early morning hours, here's 6:30 in the morning, scattered thunderstorms southeastern Kansas into southwestern Missouri, north of I-44. Let's continue through the morning, pushes into southwestern Missouri. Now it's just kind of clipping northeastern Oklahoma. So if you live in Oklahoma, you probably won't get much rain at all, if any at all. Most of these showers are out of here by the time we head to about 9, 10 o'clock, but we're going to have the clouds, and then we'll break out and see partly sunny skies. Temperatures pretty good into the mid-70s for highs. Tomorrow night, we start to cool back down into the mid-40s. The secondary front tries to push through, but Thursday looks pretty good. We break out, sunny skies again, high temps near 70 degrees. Now rainfall, again, it's not super heavy, but at least we're getting some. You can see a lot of areas, 1/10, upwards of 2/10, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Farther southwest you live, the lower the amounts. 66 at 7, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some sunshine at noon, 69, 75 by 5 p.m. And that's what our high temperature should end up, about 75. But look at the winds tonight. Southerly winds gusting to about 30. When the front slides in, they become calm and then pick up again throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. So watch your trash can. It's not going to stay in place. It's definitely going to knock over, but I think you'll find it. But it's one of those days that's going to be a little bit windy as we go into tomorrow. 75 tomorrow, 72 Thursday, 78 Friday. Another cold front Saturday could give us a few random showers. Overall, temperature is pretty good.
Timely graphic there, Doug Kennedy, because where I live, tomorrow is garbage day. So.
Yeah, mine knocked over today, so I had to pick it up.
Yeah.
I was not happy.
And I wouldn't be either. Thanks, Doug, as always.
Yep.
All right, coming up in sports, Missouri Southern women claiming the top spot in the MIAA preseason coaches poll, plus playoff tie for Missouri high school softball. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Register, learn the Well, it is playoff time for high school softball in Southwest Missouri. In Webb City, the Cardinals host the Class 4 District 7 tournament this week. And the quarterfinals tonight. First up, it's Carl Junction facing Willard with the winner, moving on to play Nevada in the semifinals. And Willard hit the ball hard today. 4th inning, Allison Miller, high and deep to right center. Off the scoreboard, 2-run jack from Miller. She drives in 4 today. The next batter, just a few pitches later, Hannah Burks yanks it to left. That clears the fence. Burks makes it back-to-back for Willard. Tigers in control, but in the 4th, Carl Junction not going to quit. Sammy Sims pokes this one opposite field, finds some grass. Sims in there for the double. Next batter, next pitch. Maddie Olds drives it to center. Really thought she hit this one out, but it's off the fence. Sims scores. CJ gets 2 back in the inning. But it is Willard moving on to the district semifinals 14-3. On the other side of the bracket, two other quarterfinal games tonight. McDonald County on the field against Monette. Good one there, but the Mustangs beat the Cubs 2-0. Then tournament host Webb City faces Bolivar. Laney Taylor throws a complete game for the Cards, allowing just one hit. Webb City wins it 7-0. In the Class 5 District 5 tournament in Springfield, big one in the quarterfinals. Joplin hits the field against COC rival Neosho. Tonight it is Joplin winning a good one, 2-1. Eagles move on to face top-seeded Ozark in the district semifinals tomorrow night. Today is MIAA Basketball Media Day in Kansas City. On the women's side, in the preseason coaches poll, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas have been picked to finish 8th in the MIAA. As for the Missouri Southern Lions, no surprise here really. They're number 1 in the MIAA preseason coaches poll. And the Lions finished as co-league champions last year. They returned 10 players from that team, including MIAA Player of the Year Lacey Stokes. Stokes averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals per game last year. And according to her coach, she's only getting better.
Her work ethic's unbelievable. Just her mindset of how hard she works and how much she studies the game and learns. She's a quick learner. Coach Porter can walk her through something in the morning, in the afternoon she's working on it in practice. To me, I think that's a great thing. If we can have the kid that was Player of the Year in our league that continues to get better, we got a good chance to be successful.
On the men's side, new coaches this year for both Pitt State and Missouri Southern. Jeff Boschee enters his first year with the Gorillas, while Sam McMahon, heading into his first year, leading the Lions. Missouri Southern is picked 8th in the coaches poll today. Pittsburgh State, a couple spots behind them at number 10. Now, both teams will open the season on November 11th in Kansas City at the Central Region Tip-Off Challenge. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Entertainment icon Angela Lansbury has died. The actress, known across the TV, film, stage landscapes as well, was 96 years old. Fox News correspondent Julie Banderas has a look back at the life of the acting legend.
She was one of the few actresses to cross over all 3 mediums: film, stage, and television.
I'm Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury was born in London on October 16, 1925. Her father passed away when she was very young. Her mother, also an actress, encouraged her to take acting lessons as a child. But the family's time in England would soon end as World War II swept through Europe. Her mother moved the Lansbury clan to New York City in 1940. A few years later, it was off to Los Angeles and the beginning of Lansbury's acting career. In 1944, at age 17, she landed her first Hollywood role in Gaslight.
She's a tartar, ain't she?
From there, she earned her first Oscar nomination and a 7-year contract with MGM. She played Elizabeth Taylor's sister in National Velvet. The next year, she was nominated again for an Academy Award for The Picture of Dorian Gray. Lansbury was briefly wed to the late actor Richard Cromwell, but it was in 1949 that she'd marry the love of her life, Peter Shaw.
He traveled over from Hollywood just to be married in dear old London.
In the late 50s, it was the Great White Way that lured Lansbury away from Hollywood. In 1964, she starred in her first Broadway musical, Anyone Can Whistle. Over the years, Lansbury continued to make dozens of films, mostly in supporting character roles. Her third Oscar nomination came for playing the chilling mother in the 1962 classic, The Manchurian Candidate.
You are to shoot the presidential nominee through the head.
In 1966 came Jerry Herman's Mame.
I have the feeling that time has halted. I'd like 2 straws and a chocolate malted, 'cause that's how young I feel.
Her professional success overshadowed by trouble at home. The family's house in Malibu burnt to the ground in 1970. Shortly after, she and her husband learned their 2 children, Anthony and Deidre, both had drug problems. In 1975, Lansbury returned to Broadway, taking on the legendary role made famous by Ethel Merman, Mama Rose in the revival of Gypsy. In 1979, Sondheim's new musical, Sweeney Todd. But it was in 1984 that Lansbury became famous on a whole new level. CBS premiered a new series, Murder, She Wrote.
They almost did it. They were that close to getting away with it.
The show aired for 12 seasons. In 1991, in the middle of a hectic schedule on Murder, She Wrote, she somehow found time to lend her voice to a motherly teapot in Disney's animated feature Beauty and the Beast. In 2007, Lansbury returned to Broadway for the first time in 25 years, performing in the show Deuce. She appeared again on stage in Blythe's Spirit in 2009, a performance that earned Lansbury a Tony Award for Best Supporting Actress. Throughout her career, Lansbury won a total of 5 Tonys and 6 Golden Globes. She also received the Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award, a classic lady whose great talent graced the entertainment industry. Julie Banderas, Fox News.
A thorough story to compliment a woman who'd done a lot through her life. All right, got some Fleetwood Mac news. Hollywood Nation coming your way. A legendary singer encourages everyone to use their voice in the 2022 midterm elections. A popular comedy duo re-teamed for a new film and more. Fox's Ashley DeWorkin has all the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Just be who you are, Selena.
Gomez opens up, Key and Peele reunite, and Nick sends a message in the Hollywood Nation. Fleetwood Mac legend Stevie Nicks is releasing a new song. The singer shared a personal statement on social media urging Americans to register to vote ahead of today's deadline for the November 8th midterm elections. Her impassioned message addresses the issues of abortion and individual rights. The post includes a poem titled Get It Back that she wrote and recorded while on the road for her current solo tour.
Greetings. We are the Magician Morticians.
Today's first looks includes a new collaboration between beloved comedic duo Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Netflix released the full trailer to the stop-motion animated film Wendell and Wild. Key and Peele play 2 demon brothers who trick a troubled teen into bringing them from the underworld into the land of the living. The horror comedy debuts October 28th.
I am grateful to be alive.
And Selena Gomez honored World Mental Health Day on Monday by sharing a new trailer to her upcoming documentary, My Mind and Me. The preview expands on her mental health struggles and lupus diagnosis, featuring raw footage from her personal everyday life. It premieres on Apple TV Plus November 4th.
You know, this is the beginning for me.
In Hollywood, Ashley DeWorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave it tonight. Video of lemurs at a New Zealand zoo. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.